And we are live. What's happening, y'all? Welcome back. This is hashtag them dragons. We are the number one House of the Dragon reaction show on Pornhub. I am your host, Lord Cussalott Travis Pointer, aka the Dragon King, aka Big T, aka T Money, aka Sweet T, aka Black Merlin, aka the HNIC. And I'm joined, as always, by my co-host, Mara the Shark Watkins.
Hello.
And the Warden, Matt Ritter.
What up?
How's it going tonight, y'all?
Going good. A little gassy. Other than that, feeling fine.
Is it coming out the front or the back?
Back.
Oh. Just lift the cheek a little bit. It helps out,
Yeah, if you see me go like this, you know what's up.
Yeah, just a little slight thing. And actually, I don't know if you watched Nick Kroll's stand-up special. He actually let people know, if you didn't know this already, the actual sound of the fart comes from the flapping of your cheeks. If you spread your cheeks when you fart, it doesn't make a sound.
Because me and my wife are always arguing. She thinks that farts are just something that you can hold in indefinitely.
Why would you do that?
No.
That's what I said. Like, we argue about it all the time. She's like, why can't you just, not fart? And I'm like, because it's a fucking bodily function, and that's how the body works. And I need to let that pressure out.
Trap all that gas inside you. Why would you do that? It's meant to come out.
Hi, Allison.
All right. But yeah, you got to let that out. You don't just let that sit inside you like that. It's there. It's trying to get out. Like, you leave that in there, that's causing more problems. Like, you need the release.
That is how you get a hernia.
There you go. See? Fart, people. Fart.
I'm dead.
Oh, it happened.
What movie?
Black Adam. So, yeah, we were definitely watching Black Adam, and I want to say it was the people like in front of us and slightly to the left. One of them farted, and it was just like we both heard, like, yeah, I heard it too. So funny. However, we are not here to talk about farts in the movie theater. We are actually here to talk about House of the Dragon, because this is hashtag them dragons, the number one House of the Dragon reaction show on Pornhub. So if you all are watching live, thank you very much. We appreciate that very much. But if you're not watching live, just so you know, you can check us out right here on twitch.tv/creationworld. Also on YouTube at youtube.com/creationworld, or on Facebook at facebook.com/creationworld. Now, if you are watching us on Twitch, we would appreciate a subscription. If you just throw that subscription our way, you can do it for free if you have Amazon Prime, because if you have Amazon Prime, you have Prime Gaming, and that gives you one free Twitch subscription per month. And you got to re-up that every month. They don't just do it automatically. They make you go in and redo it. So just redo it every month. It don't cost you a thing. It helps us out a whole lot. We would really, really appreciate it. Also, if you're watching on YouTube, subscribe there too. Like, that's free, dude. That's free no matter what. Just hit the subscribe button there. That helps us out also. We really appreciate that. Like it. Hit the like button.
We're not even asking for the notifications.
Yeah, I'm not going to ask you to do that, because that annoys me, and I don't want to annoy you. So, yeah, so hit that like button, all that kind of good stuff. Also, consider helping us out and subscribing to the Patreon. That's where you get all the fun extra stuff. We get the companion show for Smacking It Raw, which is Return to Wrestling with myself and the Warden, Matt Ritter. Ooh, struggling to talk today. I don't know why letters are getting mixed up for me, but whatever. I'm completely sober too. Maybe that's the problem. But yeah, Return to Wrestling, where me and Matt are discussing old WCW stuff, and I just enjoy making him suffer. Although this last time he did not suffer. He enjoyed it, and he even said it himself. Also, we have Multiverse with myself and Mara the Shark Watkins here, our companion show for Creation Comics, where we're discussing different animated comic book properties, animated movies and all that. That's fun stuff. Last one we just did, what did we just do? Justice League Dark. Yeah. Fun stuff.
Yes.
And also you can find us, normally on podcast services everywhere. Wherever you get your podcasts, we there. Now, think that'll be it before we get into the show. Did I do everything?
Patreon, I mean, creationworld.com.
Yeah, that was all of it. Oh, we got a comment here. Okay, hernias are caused by a combination of pressure and an opening or weakness of muscles or fascia. The pressure pushes an organ or tissue through the opening or weak spot.
So release that pressure.
So release the pressure. Exactly. Lift the
I'm going to tell my wife next time she gives me shit about me. I'm like, you want me to have a hernia?
Yeah.
Is that what you want?
There you go. There you go. And, you know,
I've
as you
also
know,
heard
hippos with a hernia are very angry. So, you know, we learned that from the Lion King.
Are you calling me a hippo?
No, I just remembered the line from the Lion King as soon as you said that, and I'm just like, he's as mad as a hippo with a hernia.
I've also heard bigger the butt, stinkier the fart.
I don't know if
I don't
that
know.
tracks, but
I don't know how that valid that is.
I think that's more of a diet thing.
Yeah, it's got to be a diet thing.
I
Like
feel
specifically, I'm on a diet, and this diet makes me gassy. That's why all this is going on. So,
so not not ordering something shouldn't have ordered.
less carbs, more protein, more gas.
Protein farts. Yeah. I hear you. But anyway, that's enough about our anuses and what comes out of them. We are here to talk about House of the Dragon. So let's talk about House of the Dragon.
This was our finale.
Yeah. So, finale. Let's talk about it. This episode was called The Black Queen, of course, as we have right here. You can see that. You can read that. You know, reading is good for you. So yeah, this episode kicks off. We're in Dragonstone. We got Ray talking to, I believe it was Luke she was talking to, and he started whining because he was just like, yo, grandpappy gonna die, even though it's not actually his grandpappy, but like he gonna die. So I'm scared. Like I can't take over. I ain't shit. Like I can't do that. Like what the fuck? And while he's in there tripping,
I ain't trying to do that.
Yeah, all that, and Ray just basically, you know, if she could slap him, I swear, like she would have just been like, "What the fuck? What's wrong with you? Like, get it together, kid." But while that's, you know, after that all goes down, in walks Rainy's. What we want to say?
I just like how she came in. She's like, you thought I was ready to be pronounced queen at 10 and 4, not 14, 10 and 4, because apparently that's how they do math.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I noticed that because I rewatched episode 9, and when the dude that fucking Kristen murdered last week, he was like, I am 6 and 70 or 7 and 60 years or whatever, whichever variation he said. And I was just like, is that how you say 60 or 76?
Yeah, that's how they say it.
They're doing Common Core math. I hate it.
Exactly. That is what that feels like.
That's literally what Luna's homework was. It's like 10 is 4 more than what? And I was just like, what?
Also, are we not going to do overall thoughts before we get into the breakdown?
I mean, we can. What were your overall thoughts?
This did not feel like a fucking season finale.
I needed more.
So...
it did not feel like a season finale. This felt like the episode we were looking for last week. That's what it fucking felt like. Like, I feel like there should be one more.
Yeah.
It's like, I get it, because it's like they had to like kind of get to the meatiness of it. Like they had to give us all like, this is how we got here, and such. And then it's like, and now we're gonna start seeing like the game, like more of the violent game playing that's going to occur, that, you know, will lead the Targaryen line to where they get to. But it's just like,
yeah, but I gotta wait a year to get to it. Like,
it's almost 2. That's more what it is for me. It's just waiting for 2 years. Because it's like, I get it for the longevity of however long they plan on doing it, but it was like, I felt like there should have been just a little bit more, but I also understand it.
They cock teased the shit out of us with a season, an entire season. They just fucking cock teased us.
Yeah, but you gotta think back. Season 1 of Game of Thrones. The big thing was them chopping Ned's head off. Now, granted, that happened in episode 9, not 10. So they gave us that moment, like you were saying, Matt, but they gave it to us in the finale instead of giving it to us in episode. Now, I know it's not the same because I didn't give a shit about that kid either. But
man, fuck Luke and his tiny ass dragon.
Nobody get a fuck about Luke. But it was still like one of them things where I'm watching it all just like, I see what you were trying to do there. You didn't quite succeed, but I see what you were trying to do there.
And there's all this stuff I'm gonna have to try and remember in almost fucking 2 years for the next
they expect you to rewatch it again before the second season starts.
Fucker.
I no longer have that kind of attention span any longer, so I'll just probably watch a recap video.
Yeah, there's too much to watch these days. This is way different than when Game of Thrones first came along. And we actually
and you could go back and watch each one. It's like when Harry Potters were coming out. I'd be like, hell yeah, I can sit here and watch the first 6 movies again back to back before I go see the 7th part 1, and then do it again in another year to watch part 2.
Yeah.
Now I can't do that.
This comment here is exactly how I feel about Luke, man. Ain't nobody come to see you, Otis. But it's true though. Ain't nobody here for Luke. Like, it was more of a knowing what that means when he kills him more so than Luke dying. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just like he dies. Okay, yep, we're definitely going to war now. Even though we already pretty much knew that was going to happen because if we didn't, there would be no actual show. But it was just like, damn, Aemon out here just being a dick, not even really trying to do nothing bad. Just like, well, he was doing something bad. He was just trying to fuck with him though. And then his dragon got pissed and said, nope, you both got to die now. So
he's like, I didn't realize I was hungry until you started fucking around.
Yeah, until you blasted me in the face with fire, I was cool. Like, I was content to ride around with Aemon and just fuck with y'all for a while. And then you blasted me in the face with fire. Now you got to die.
This is what happens when you send children to do adults' work.
Basically. If you really think about it, like Aemon, he's supposed to be 16 here. I know he looks like a grown ass man of like 30, but that was like, and actually, I think, did I share this in the Facebook group of the meme? Is from the scene from Bad Boys 2 when Reggie comes to the house and he was just like, when Aemon comes in, he's just like, how old are you, Aemon? He's like 16. Like, motherfucker, you look 30.
I saw that on I saw that meme on Twitter.
That is, he's a grown ass man. If you look at him, he looks like a grown ass man.
Right? I was like, y'all couldn't find any way to like. I guess like they don't. I guess like also because like his character is not a soft character. I was like, because I was gonna say they can't find a way to soften him a little bit, but I was like,
Well, no,
what do you mean? They put a sapphire in his eye. That didn't soften him all for you?
Yeah, it's all glimmery. You know.
I spent a lot. Like I paused for a few minutes. I was like, what the fuck is that in his face?
Yeah. They replaced his eye with some kind of sapphire thingy. But yeah, so Rhaenys shows up and she just basically catches them up on everything that happened in King's Landing. They're like, yo, your pappy died, and then they made Aegon king, did the whole thing in the sept and all that. But I came here with my dragon, said "roar," and then flew away. But yeah, and Day-Day's over there like, so they killed my brother because he just convinced they killed him, not time. Like, and his brother being like on death's door anyway.
For the last 10 years.
Right. And he even addressed that the gods have been nicer to him before.
Like he is missing an eye and his jaw, and you think somebody had to kill him. Like, no, we'll just let time kill this man. Like,
it was like, bro, if the wind breathes the wrong way, he was going to keel over.
Exactly. Like his entire body would like just collapse in half.
Though they did talk about how like he was upset they were feeding him milk of the poppy and shit, and thought that was slowly like poisoning him. So maybe that's where he was going with that.
Maybe. But he also was just like, yo, why didn't you just take them all out when you had the chance, which is what a lot of people said. She was like, yo, this all was probably gonna come to war, but it was not my war to start. Now, granted, if she had just killed all them on the stage, there wouldn't be no damn war. Like, because there's nobody to go to war if you kill them all before the war even starts. But
Oh yeah, because
she wasn't completely wrong. Who did that?
Sorry, that was my fault.
Mara just really wanted to close up on my face real quick.
Like, what are we doing here?
That was not on purpose. I'm sorry. It was supposed to be this. A lot of problems would be solved if they had just said, if they said Dracarys on site.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. You know, subscribe to the theory of Mad King Ares and burn them all. But, you know, or like that, I think it was the one you showed us last week, and they're like, you know, Danny would have said Dracarys. Like, it's just, it is what it is.
Shout out to Rainey's though, because this whole episode, she's just chilling, watching everything go on.
Oh yeah,
like a little smirk on her face, like everything that's happening. She's just like, I'm not taking sides. It's not my place. I ain't in charge. I tried to be in charge. Y'all didn't let me, so I ain't doing that shit no more. Basically. I'll let you know what I'm told.
Is this why she didn't bow at any point?
Oh, we'll talk about that when we get to it. But yeah, so Ray goes into labor when all this is going down, though, and because that's a lot. Like, you know, like, yo, your father's dead. Oh shit. But also they just took the throne because fuck you. Yeah, that's a lot to have to take in at once when you're with child, I assume. And
is it just me, or did StreamYard like add like more options of screen layouts?
No, they did not.
They did.
They did not. It's all the same. Like,
Mara just loves me.
Like, nothing has changed there at all.
I do know that if you click on that full screen layout, it'll just put your tweet up on the screen in that top left corner of where you have it. And then if you click on the individual like little like gray squares in each of ours, it'll just focus on one person.
That probably makes sense.
So if that makes it easier for you, so you don't keep popping my big ass face up there.
It didn't, because she's still gonna fuck it up. It's just one of these, because the thing she was doing, she was clicking the wrong thing on accident. It wasn't that she didn't know what she should have clicked. She was
yeah. I just, for whatever reason, the layout of them has changed for me. But yeah, and people on Twitter were also like saying Rhaenyra losing her father, daughter, and son on the same day while dealing with motherfuckers also stealing her job. This is crazy.
Did they say that it was a little girl?
No, but I think somewhere it stated that they had a daughter.
Okay.
So I went off of that. I was like, I've heard, this is not the first time I heard that she's had a daughter, but like, it's that I never seen them. I was like, I guess this one is dead.
Did anyone else forget that there were 3 strong boys? Because Kate absolutely was like, they were counting. They're like, she's got 5 kids, and Kate's like, she's got 2 with Daemon and 2 strongs. And I'm like, no, she's got 3 strongs.
Joffrey.
We just haven't seen him. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Ray goes into labor. She calls Jason Luke to her because they out there practicing and sparring and stuff. So they come in and she just tells them what's going on, and maybe, I don't know. I wasn't looking at the baby's dick. I didn't notice.
Right. But me and my friend were sitting here trying to understand, like, if the baby had just passed because it was too soon, because they thought they saw the cord wrapped around, and I was like, I think this was too early.
I saw both. It looked like the cord was wrapped around the neck, but also I think they said she was only like 5 months pregnant or some shit like that. Like, they said it was way too early, but
because also earlier she still looked very not at that like popped stage where it's just like, I know you're pregnant, but it's just like you haven't got to that point where your belly is just like, oh yeah, there's a baby
Mm.
here.
And that was a tough thing to watch. Like, as someone who's been not through like that full on, like delivering it that, but like been through miscarriages and stuff, like that was not an easy thing to watch.
Yeah.
Same as someone who's been through labor, it was like I was like squeamish. I was just like, oh God.
Because she
That was-
palmed that, like she palmed that shit. Like she just went,
Yeah. Yeah.
I got this.
And all her handmaids were like, let us help you. And she was just like, no. Like I'm a motherfucking dragon. And she
right? She's like, I'm a queen dragon. Don't do this. They trying to take my job.
They took her job. Okay. Let's see. So yeah, she tells them all about, tells them about everything that went down. She also tells Jace, like, yo, listen, I'm supposed to be queen now, and you inherit that shit. You let everybody out there know, lay low, nobody move until I say so. And they don't see that shit. So she's out there, and he's just like, yep, we doing this and this and this. And she's crying out for him and everything. And he is just flat out ignoring it. Telling him send out ravens and all that. And Jay's like, yeah, well, mama said don't do shit. And he doing shit anyway.
Every pair of shoes in Damon's closet.
100% Black Air Force energy all day, every day with that nigga. Like,
just ready to just shoot it up. Just like, fuck it up.
Yeah. So, yeah, so he's ignoring her. And then we have this thing where he's talking to those two members of the King's Guard whose names I don't know. But he was just like, yo, who you with? You can either be with us and it's all good, or you can go ahead and say you with them and we'll just, end this quickly for you. I'll just, make it quick, slice, you done. Right. Or you can try to, lie to me and be slick about it, which we will find out, and then your death will not be so pleasant. All while a dragon is standing right there staring at them like, what you gonna do?
He was like, try me.
Who was it in Game of Thrones when Daenerys came with the dragons and was asking everyone to, bow down and...
Oh, the Tarleys.
Yeah.
It was Sam's father.
Sam's brother. Where they were like, no, fuck that, we ain't doing it.
Yeah.
It took see, these guys were not about that.
At all. Nobody logical is. Like, why would I willingly just let myself be burned by a dragon? That'll make no damn sense. Like...
So, was it before I think it was after this when they did the table thing. Was that after this?
After, yeah.
Okay.
Because she technically hadn't given birth to the baby yet. So,
okay.
To the stillborn baby. So that happens like right after this.
And
so
I commend them because I was like, that was such a long drawn. It felt like it was forever.
Like the stillbirth thing?
The labor.
Yeah.
Like
they
the
stuck
labor
with that.
Of it.
Yeah.
I was just like, oh, you committed to this. Like, oh God.
Mm-hmm.
People were commending Emma D'Arcy's performance, and I was just like, oh man, I give that to her.
Yeah. And then, she does all the rights and all that kind of stuff. You don't let the sisters do it either. She's like, nope, I'm going to wrap it and all of that kind of shit. I'm like, no, I got this. Then they have all the funeral and all that kind of stuff. And when that happens, Eric comes in. Like, I'm with you. Here go the crown. And then bends the knee. And everyone else around there bends the knee except for Rhaenys. Because I feel like at this point, she hadn't decided what she was going to do yet.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it was Rhaenys, and it was like 3 guards who were just kind of standing watch. But I don't know if they had to or not.
I was gonna say, I feel like the guards, it made sense. I was like, they're at a time where like anyone on a dragon could just come by. Like,
and they had already bent the knee, so it wasn't like
It's probably the 2 that Damon was talking to earlier, just like, is this you or nah? But the others were also commending Sir Eric because they were like, he helped Rhaenys escape the Red Keep and brought Rhaenyra her father's crown. That's a real man right there.
Oh yeah, Team Eric over Aaron all day, or whatever the fuck his twin brother's name is.
Also, Eric.
Arik and Eric, yeah, that's right.
You'd think there was like not just like enough names back then.
Yeah.
They were
Yeah,
born
that's
at the
true
same
too.
time.
Yeah, because
Just
yeah, Damon crowned her and called her queen and everything, but he was always back talking. I'm like, but he acknowledged his brother was king too, was back talking to him. That's just Day. That's just kind of how he is. He's a dick. Like
this is
we
hilarious.
had moments these last few episodes where we kind of forgot that because of the shit he was doing there, but it's like, nah, he's still Damon.
Oh, we'll talk about Damon being a dick, like
Oh
a
yeah,
full-on dick.
yeah, we'll get there. So yeah, so then we got some strategy talk happening at the table. That's when it's going down now. That's what you were talking about.
And
At the
this was my
coolest fucking table ever.
exactly.
Yeah.
That is why, because how many seasons of fucking Game of Thrones did we watch with that goddamn table sitting there, and I never knew you could put a fucking light under it and glow that bitch up.
Yeah.
I even said, imagine how warm that table is if you had food on it.
Mhm.
Right?
Food, stay warm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, look at that shit. The coolest war table I've ever seen.
Listen, fuck everything else. Fuck Luke getting eaten and all of the other shit we're about to talk about. Them lighting up that table was my hot D moment of the week, because that I need one of those. Like, how do I get
Right?
a table that I can just slide some fire under and light up like that? Like,
If
that
I
needs
get
to
in,
be a thing in my house.
if I get enlisted for signing for this student loan forgiveness shit, I need this table to be where they debrief me. That is the only way they will get the patriotism out of me. This is the table I need to be debriefed at. Hear me? Take
So yeah,
some
the
notes.
strategy talk is happening during this whole time when Rhaenyra is just like, "Yo, this is what we need to do," and trying to keep everybody calm. Daddy the whole time, like with the Black Air Force entity, the whole just forever trying to start a war, like right now, like right now, completely ignoring her, trying to take over the whole strategy talk and shit, and talk over her and everything. At which point she just says, "Everybody get the fuck out." Or does that later? Yeah, that was
Around
later.
that time.
That was later. Because at this point, that's when they said that, the green, somebody threw up with the green 3 dragons and shit. Because Otto Hightower had just showed up. And then he was like, yeah, I'll go handle this. And you just walk outside to go meet him. And, back and forth happens. What's up?
Well, I got a question. So if the banner for, I'm assuming, the Hightower Targaryens
Mhm.
is a green 3-headed dragon, and I thought I had an idea of where everything was going and where the line of succession was going, how do we get back to the red dragons?
Mm. Probably after this all over with, they settle on red.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, probably at some point. Like when
Because
some kind of
the
power
actual
switches over.
Yeah, because the actual Targaryen crest or whatever is the red 3-headed dragon. So
Right. But I feel like they're like, this is like, so if, for you, Travis, if
you're
the
gonna go
Targaryens
NWO?
are NWO,
Yeah, I knew you were gonna do that.
so is Rhaenyra the wolf pack, or are the Hightowers the wolf pack? Because I feel like the Hightowers changed the color, so they would technically be the wolf pack.
I feel like you're still seeing the Wolfpack the wrong way because we haven't gotten to it yet, and therefore your analogy is flawed. But in the way that you're looking at it, neither, because technically they both changed the colors.
Okay.
But anyway, he comes to him with offers like, "Yo, this is what we gonna do. This is what we gonna give you. Pretty much everything you were supposed to get before anyway, except the throne."
Yeah, like you can have everything but the throne.
Yeah, everything except what you really want. Because all this other shit that you were supposed to get before that you really don't care about, you just kind of said it because it made sense that you were supposed to do it anyway. Yeah, you can have all that because we don't give a shit. We don't care if you got drift mark and all that kind of shit. Bah, who gives a fuck? You stay on Dragonstone. We don't give a fuck. Take all that, but you don't get the throne.
Right.
And to that day, they said, enough of this. let's rumble. And pulls out his sword and shit. And Ray Ray said, nah, we ain't doing that.
He escalated that shit faster than rocket power does when they show up in the middle at the most inconvenient of times.
Well, that's because we have finally now, I believe, at this scene, at this moment, realized that all of the stuff that we talked about in the last episode, the last couple episodes, where we're like, oh, you know what? Maybe he's kind of cool. Like, no, he's like, I did not murder a wife, marry a cousin, and then have her
Marry a
die
niece.
to fuck my niece and have kids with her. For you to take this, like, I have been doing all of this to get my ass as close to the Iron Throne as possible. Y'all are not taking this from me. I'm not fucking my niece and having children, so you can just take away the shit that should have been mine that was given to her.
Mhm.
That's as close as he's going to get. He ain't about it. That's all he cares about. He doesn't care about Rhaenyra. I'll say he cares about the kids because, like, we saw him go out after the baby was born and did his little thing out by the ocean. Like
Yeah,
he said, like, he loves his kids.
he was
Like,
visually hurt on that one.
yeah, but
yeah. So I forgot to mention when they, when Otto first showed up, he was like, "Well, I'm only gonna talk to Rhaenyra," and they just kind of looked up like, "Oh, okay." Looks up. Here she come on the dragon, puts the dragon on the opposite side of them so they couldn't go nowhere until she said so, which I thought was a dope ass move. But
which is the second time she has done this. Because she did that shit with Day Day too.
Oh, yeah.
When they met on that same bridge.
At Dragonstone. Yeah. The same two people meeting at the bridge, just in opposite, ends. Yeah.
She came in just the opposite way with her dragon, put it back there, and was like, all right.
Actually, no, it wasn't the opposite because Daddy was on Dragonstone at the time. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right, but she was there backing the Hightower.
She was on the opposite side.
She was where Hightower was.
Yeah.
Instead of on the same side. And also Twitter was like, they also were not happy with Otto and his offers. And they were like, every time Otto Hightower breathes, bitch, shut the fuck up.
That's because that was another one. Didn't nobody come to see you, Otis? So anyway, yeah, they didn't want to fight, but Ray like, nah, we ain't doing that. They go back.
You forgot the line that he said. Oh wait, no, we didn't forget the line. I'm sorry, but like I liked where this although tweet was put up saying, anyway, I would rather feed my sons to dragon than have him carry shields and cups for your drunken usurper cunt of a king.
Yes,
and have him with a phone, just like I'm tweeting that.
But yeah, that was that was a line for you right there. He
had some lines this episode.
That was a fuck you if I've ever heard one. Like,
well, because Hightower came in on some bullshit, and Hightower was all like, "Listen, so you get all that same shit, and then your kids, you're and Daemon's kids, they can be the cupbearer, and they can do this, and they can do they'll have high places in the court serving our king, the real king."
Yeah.
Because like how you say some backhanded shit like that and didn't think that no one was gonna catch that.
Also, how do you call the king a cunt and not lose your head?
There is that. I don't mean
you're
white privilege.
Oh, you're Daemon Targaryen. That's how you do it. But yeah, here's the thing though. Otto knew they weren't going to accept those terms. And Allison even told him, like, yeah, you try to bring them these terms, they're gonna say fuck you, and we're not gonna let you go up there and try to chop their heads off. Like, that's just not what we doing. So she had to cut him off in the past because she knew they weren't going to accept that shit. But he like handed her some kind of paper, something, I guess, that came from Allison. I don't know. I think I was supposed to recognize that, but I didn't.
I think it was from a book that they used to read together when they were kids.
When they were kids, they were in the garden. Allison was reading from the book, talking about succession and all of these things, and Rhaenyra came and ripped that page out of the book. They showed it in like the recap at the beginning, like specifically her tearing that page out of the book.
I wasn't really paying attention to the recap at the beginning.
I skipped the recap.
I didn't skip it. I just wasn't paying attention.
I had to skip it because I was like pressed on time, but
yeah.
But yeah, that was a symbol of their friendship from when they were still good before, Allison started fucking her best friend's dad. And
yeah. So yeah, that was, and at that point, that was when Ray was like, "No, we ain't doing this right now," and they go back inside. But then things get a little testy in there. with Ray Ray and Day going back and forth, and Day come in with the Undertaker moves and shit. Like
She tried to remind him of something, and he was just like,
yeah,
the Song of Fire.
yeah, the Song of Ice and Fire. Nope. And the thing is, afterwards, like he lets her go and all that kind of shit. Because he was just like Viserys was a slave to his, all these dreams and prophecy kind of shits and all that kind of dumb things. And she afterwards realizes, like, oh, he didn't tell you, which makes sense because he never was gonna let Day become king. He was never going to let him inherit. Like it just wasn't going to happen. If he thought at any point he was going to inherit, he would have told him, but he did not.
Right.
So he's just like, nope.
But like you said, this was where she was all like, clear the room, because she's talking. She's looking at it and she's like, listen, I swore to keep the kingdom together. And if, conceding to these wishes does that, then maybe this is the right thing to do. Maybe going to war and dividing the kingdom isn't what I'm meant to do, because of the Song of Fire and Ice and all of this. Like she's weighing the future of everything over her own personal ambition. And Data's like, no, fuck that. We run this shit. And then, like you said, non-consensually choked her. Like that did not look like any sort of loving. Like that is not the look my wife has in her eyes when I choke her.
Exactly. There's a very distinct look when they're liking the choking. And this was not the look.
I need to have like a bobblehead look on my face to know that it's a good time. If my head wobbles like a bobble, it's good.
Interesting. It's different for everyone, Whatever does it for you.
It's always funny because Matt always grabs his face as if he's like my older brother. He's just like, I don't want to hear that.
I have known you long enough, Mara, to where I do kind of think of you like a little sister. And like, I have heard a lot of stuff since joining #ThemeThrones about you that I was not sure I was ready to hear or think about or picture in my head. So.
See.
Welcome to the family.
It's a regular thing for me to share things with my brothers and sisters who, to purposely try to make them uncomfortable so that when they try to do it back to me, it means nothing to me.
But you're the baby. See, it's different. Like I'm the oldest. All right.
This is true.
I feel that.
It's one of those things. It's getting reactions out of people is pretty much my favorite thing. So, yeah.
Like I'd love to have a niece or nephew. I just don't need to know they're making one because I don't need to think about ever need to hear about how just get pregnant one day.
On that right now?
I have no idea. Don't want to know.
Should ask her. You want me to ask her for you?
Go right ahead.
I'll let you know.
Okay.
I'll ask her to give me details too, so I can write it all out for you and just say it all to you in like a slow speech with sound effects and everything.
I will hang up on you repeatedly.
A whole lot of this.
So Damon choked Rhaenyra
in a non-sexy manner.
You think your little sister likes being choked?
No, Travis.
Let's not venture into younger siblings.
Finish this episode, just the two of you.
Let's not venture into siblings, please. Also, an older sibling.
The problem is, like, I know I can't throw it back at him. Like, I can't. Like, I know I can talk about something that happened in his childhood that has scarred him, but I've used that so many times I don't think it even has the effect anymore that it used to.
I don't even know what he's talking about.
Yes, you do.
That's how numb he's become.
You don't remember walking into your bedroom and catching something happening downstairs in the basement?
No.
You blocked that out?
Yep.
Blocked what out?
Uh-huh.
So, where were we?
Yeah. Choking, he didn't tell you.
Oh, yeah, he didn't tell her about They didn't know about the Song of Ice and Fire.
Day doesn't know.
Oh my god.
It is funny because I can see it. Like it's just
wacky, wheeling, inflatable arm person.
Oh man. So anyway, Corliss arrives, Sea Snake, and him and Renice are talking,
Bro,
and
for
there's
someone who was on his deathbed like for however long.
yeah, but they let you know earlier, like yo, his fever broke. He all right now.
Mm-hmm.
So he's in there in the bed. He's like, yo, like fuck this. I don't want to declare for nobody no more. Let's just go back home and we can just live out there and chill and let them do whatever fighting they want to do. Leave us the fuck out of it. And yeah,
She said,
Bernice
nah,
is like, we can't do that.
nah.
Like,
You already dragged us all the way through it this far. Now we gotta see it through.
So
got to see it through, my boy.
when he said go home, because like that whole conversation, he's like, let's just go home, chill, back at Driftmark with our grandchildren, everything will be cool. And she brought up the grandchildren that aren't really his grandchildren as the reason why they can't let that shit go. Like, I would have been more concerned about like your actual granddaughters, the ones that look like you, not those strong boys who aren't related to you whatsoever. And we all know it, and you know it.
Well, the problem is those other grandchildren are significantly less of a threat, which means they probably wouldn't be killed.
And
So
they're also married to the boys, so I guess they're tied in. But still, like, I thought it was weird that she's like, Jason Luke are going to be targets, so we're never going to be safe. And it's like, but they're not really your kids. Like, they're not. No. Mm-mm.
yeah. So after that whole discussion goes down, Corliss comes into the, back to the meeting, the strategy meeting, and he's just like, look, what we gonna do? What are y'all doing right now? Because y'all ain't
What's
got
the
enough people
plan?
to start a war. And she's like, well, we're hoping for this dude, and this dude. And he was just like, well, hope ain't gonna get you shit. So
You
what's
need
up,
to
man?
start doing stuff.
We didn't talk about it, but I want to highlight the fact that she told Corliss that his brother died, and dude got up, and then she told him how he died, and he's like, oh yeah, he fucked up. Like,
Yeah.
his
Oh yeah.
reaction.
Yeah. Well, he know his brother. He's just like, my brother's a fucking dumbass, and so he does dumbass shit. And I knew it was gonna get him killed eventually. And there we go. It
He's
happened.
like he be talking ahead of term quite frequently, so it makes sense.
That's how they got to the whole point of like, let's say fuck this and go back to Driftmark and just do our own thing. But like, she's like, yeah, your brother's dead. And he's like, that mother. And they're like, yeah, he kind of, wanted to take your throne and called the kids bastards in front of the king. And he's like, that motherfucker.
Mhm.
Well, that sucks, but did it to himself.
He's like, that ballsy motherfucker.
Yeah. So after he, basically reads all them for filth and lets them know, like, yo, y'all ain't ready for this war at all. So let me tell you what I'm gonna do, because I'm with you. But since I almost died out there, let me tell you why I almost died. We got all that handled out there. We control the whole narrow sea. We can block this shit off, and they can't do no trade and nothing in the King's Landing at all without our say so. So we choke all that shit out. We barricade them in there. We lay siege on them, and they can't do shit.
Hell yeah.
In the meantime, they're like, okay, we're gonna send Jace up north, talk to the Starks and the Tullys and all that. And we're gonna send Luke down south, down to talk to the Baratheons and all them niggas down there. And yeah, because them kids volunteered. And I was just like, you gonna send Luke by himself? That was stupid. And
Jace
I was
volunteered.
Well, yeah,
Luke just
Jace.
stood there like, shit. What the fuck did you just rope me into?
It's funny because Luke comes off kind of like how Aegon comes off. Like I don't
want it.
I don't
don't
really
want
want
it.
to do any of this shit. You guys just keep thrusting this responsibility into my lap. Cause they name dropped a lot of some of the they name dropped a little bit more of the families and some of the places that we are used to from Game of Thrones, like when they mentioned the Starks, and Rhaenyra brought up that there's not a Stark that forgets an oath, and it was like, yep. Like our Twitter was like, me and Rhaenyra says there's never been a Stark that forgot an oath, almost like a nod back to Ned.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought we were going to Winterfell this episode. I'm a little disappointed we didn't get our little trip back to Winterfell. Instead, we went to Storm's End. Like, I understand why we went to Storm's End and what happened there. Also, why the fuck they didn't send Damon to Storm's End if that was like the one that they were a little iffy about. I know he had other places to go, like he was going to River Run, I think, or some shit to go talk to some people.
I think the idea was they were sending him to the places that were closer.
Yeah, like it was put like because even we said that like as soon as she said Storm's End is a shorter trip, we were just like because you think it's the simplest trip for your younger one to make, so he would be safer. And that turned out like from jump hearing those key words, you knew this is not going to be good.
Kate and I looked at each other as soon as that conversation got over, and we're like, Jace talked way too much this episode, or Luke talked way too much this episode. That motherfucker's dead.
They stressed too much her love of him. When they were having that moment talking about Driftmark, and even when she gave him the kisses, I was just like, no. Like I was watching and spoiler alert, if anyone also watches Kanan, like Kanan's book or whatever, the Book of Kanan from Power, not like y'all, but I mean like any of our viewers, like when they were focusing on some character tonight, I was just like, oh, he gonna die. Like it's giving too sad. Yeah, the final goodbye and all the gestures. It's just like
it was kind of like how in earlier episodes of Game of Thrones, they stopped doing this like later on, but it was one of those things. Every time somebody said, "We'll talk about this when I return," they never returned. Like, it was just that was the thing that happened all the time in earlier seasons of Game of Thrones. It stopped happening.
Ned was talking with I think Arya about something. He was like, "Well," or Sansa, and his wife. I forgot her name. Jesus. But either way, Kat. I think he said it to one of them, and it was like he never came back. And I think someone else had said it, and it was like, "Stop doing this."
Yeah. Well, the thing is, he also told Jon Snow before he left, like, when I return, we'll talk about your mother. And
or like in a horror movie, when one of the rules is you never say "I'll be right back" because you're not coming back. I
was about to say that too because I rewatched all 5 movies over the last week or so, and I was just like, Randy's rule. Never say "I'll be right back"
because you ain't coming back,
Randy.
So, before they actually leave off, though, she does tell them, like, swear to me that you won't be out there starting shit. Don't be out there fighting because that's not what you're out there for. You're out there to, to be a messenger, and then you come back. And they both swear they won't do it. Meanwhile, Day is just down in the whatever doing dragon shit, like just going there singing and talking to this dragon. But nothing really comes of that. He just goes and sings to a dragon.
That is one of the things, like, I thought that was going to be like one of my hot D moments if it came, but like this is one of those things I'm talking about where now I got to wait 2 years to figure out what the fuck he was singing, that crazy ass dragon that looks like it's been to war. It's got this fucked up face and a scarred nose and shit. Like, who the fuck is that? And how am I going to remember what the fuck was going on in that dragon pit? Because he said that there are like, I think 3 unclaimed dragons.
There's some unclaimed ones and a few wild ones.
Yeah, I was under the impression that was a wild dragon. Because
it wouldn't have been down there if it was a wild one though. It'd have been out and free and doing shit. It's just probably one of the unclaimed ones, but I think I think that's one of the ones that's been to war.
Why has that girl not claimed a fucking dragon yet? Because they definitely looked at her when they said there are like 3 unclaimed ones downstairs. They just kind of looked over at her, and she's like, like, go get yourself a fucking dragon.
It was like, I thought you were crying
about
that
here's the thing.
before.
Maybe that was what they were trying to do, but he already has claimed a dragon. I don't think they can bond with more than one.
I don't know. Rick and Morty would tell me otherwise.
Right?
I mean, this isn't Rick and Morty, though. So.
The rules, the weird rules of monogamy.
Are dragon bonding rituals not universal through all shows, Travis?
No, they are not.
No.
They are not.
Fine.
Because in the Aragon universe, they are actually very different. So,
have you seen the dragons in this universe? Would you really want to bond the same way with them?
I mean, I wouldn't want to bond that way with the dragons in the Rick and Morty universe either. But also if that's the only way I get a dragon, like I might have to fuck a dragon. Like, you gotta weigh your options.
Do what you gotta do, man. Got to see it, boy.
I mean, I just feel like the whole weird monogamy rule of dragons in this universe is kind of weird considering everyone else's arrangements.
Did you see the thing I sent you real quick?
Dragons have more honor.
About Cisco being the last heir of Laenor.
I mean, I told y'all Cisco was a
Yes.
Targaryen like in episode 2.
No, a Valerian. Well, I guess technically it
So-
would have been a Valerian, but
The internet has found a way to connect Cisco to Laenor Targaryen.
and so they're saying that
Valerian.
Laenor and Rhaenyra had a child in secret that was whatever, and it grew up with Laenor overseas, and that line passed down to Cisco, who unleashes the dragon. I swear maybe I sent it tomorrow, but I thought I sent it to you too. But it's the whole thing. But also, I'm now wondering if Roderick Strong is the last surviving member of the Strong household.
If who?
You don't know.
He's a wrestler.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But what else? Okay, so yeah. Luke arrives at Storm's End. And this actually was my hot D moment of the week. Because when he rolls in and Vagar is there, I was just like, oh shit. Like as soon as he lands, I'm like, ooh, this ain't gonna be good, like at all. And at that point, I would have been if I'm Luke at that point, I land, I'm like, I'm gonna just go back home. Like, it's just like, this is why I couldn't be here. Like, it's just as soon as I land and I see that nigga, I'm like, you know what? This
Twitter
ain't for me.
agreed. Twitter agreed. They were like, what Lucerys should have done when he saw Vagar, and it was like, put that bitch right in reverse.
yeah, I'm going back home. Like, nah. I ain't doing
my mom
this.
did not say. My mom said nothing about the other world's biggest dragon fucking being there.
Basically,
and you know whose dragon that is, and you know this man hates you,
and you know he buy his shoes the same place as Day Day. Like, it's
almost like you guys know my tweets before I put them up. And someone else had said, when I see the world's biggest dragon and I know it's ridden by my crazy uncle who blames me for making him look like a gay pirate, I dip. But that's just me.
Exactly. It's so true though. Oh man. This is all bad. All bad.
Like, nothing about this spells a good time, Luke. Like, But I also, like, I will say, I do like how they show how Vagar has kind of aged. Because she got, like, the turkey neck shit going on a lot more drastically. Like, she been through some weight gain and then some weight loss.
This was all just bad omens from the moment Luke flew off. Like, you saw him fly off into like stormy clouds. Then he's coming into Storm's End. He lands. It's lightning flashing in a giant dragon. It's starting to rain and shit. Like, everything was just bad omen after bad omen, and this dumbass kid did not catch shit.
All we needed was Helena just saying something cryptic.
Yeah,
that's all we needed.
The monster is hungry,
or something like Storm's End will bring your end, or some shit. You know,
right? Like
some kind of pun with Storm's End. I don't know.
Gotta lose the middle one before you can succeed, or some shit like. The middle of the three of the technical strong.
Yeah. So when he comes in there, he tries to tell, do his whole spiel, but yeah, Baratheon ain't trying to hear that shit because Aemon's already there, and he was like, yeah, they offered me, a marriage here. You just come in here with demands. Fuck you, be gone. And
he was like, you came here to remind me of some shit that my father agreed to. He said, fuck that nigga. I don't recognize nothing he said.
Yeah, man, fuck that nigga on the south side. So he was just like, then here comes Aemon as, Luke is leaving. Like, all right, well, I'll convey the message to the queen. And they was like, hey, no, don't you go nowhere. And pulls his patch off like, no, I need something from you. And throws the dagger like, take your eye out.
I'm going to give it to my mom as a present for Mother's Day.
Yeah, because you remember she wanted one of the kids' eyes. So
She
He was like,
wanted
yeah,
his specifically.
yeah. Actually, no, I think she said you could choose which son.
No, she could choose which eye.
Oh, right.
A leniency he did not grant her son.
You're right.
Though he granted him, he's like, I'm not going to blind you. I just need the one.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, of course, Luke says no, and they were about to fight, but then Baratheon's like, hell no, y'all not gonna do this in my house. Y'all escort this nigga out to his dragon.
Boros Baratheon, when Aemon goes after Lucerys, he's like, not in my goddamn lobby.
Basically, you are not spilling this blood all over my floor. Like,
I was
made
cracking up because he was sorry, go Matt.
No, finish.
I was like, because he had me cracking up. He was like, not you starting this war in my lobby, in my hall.
like,
You do that somewhere else.
It makes me wonder where Baratheon's loyalties are going to lie after all this, because he's like, he saw, because like his whole thing was Aemon showed up and said he was going to marry one of my daughters and like offered me shit. You showed up and what? You just want me to bow down to this queen? Like, no, fuck that shit. Like, tell your queen to go fuck herself. I ain't her dog that she can order around whenever she feels like it.
Yeah.
so what are you wondering then? I mean, it's pretty clear who he's siding with.
Well, once he finds out that he saw Aemon try and start this fight in his lobby, and then Aemon went and killed the messenger after he said, don't do that shit.
He said, don't do that in my house.
He's like, he came as a messenger, let him go. And then
he left. And then he killed him.
I'm just saying.
I just don't think he'll be that concerned about the semantics of it.
I might feel certain way about it.
I'm pretty sure he already knows, because I feel like the way it's been portrayed that all of that happened above Storm's End. So it still happened where
the storm won't be strong by its end.
But like, I don't know. I mean, for me, like, it was giving very Baratheon energy from like the Robert we met in the beginning of Game of Thrones. I was like, this is the same asshole dickhead energy they were giving then. And because
Robert,
we know
Stannis, both of them. Only one that was kind of cool was the younger one, whatever the fuck his name was, started with an R. I forgot what it was.
Renly.
Yeah.
And so like this was and like, wasn't the Baratheons the one?
He was kind of cool. He was just dumb. Go ahead.
Yeah, like they're like I think of them as like oafish, just like people who just happen to end up in some kind of power. But wasn't the Baratheons the one who took Aerys off his throne anyway?
It was
well, he led the rebellion,
yeah. Like, so it was like
him along with Ned and Jon Arryn.
Yeah, so like nothing about this surprised me. So, but like, I mean, I was surprised to see Aemon already had beaten him there, but like him being the dickhead that he was, nothing about that surprised me.
Basically, and then as soon as he walked, I'm like, yo, he's going to chase him down. Like, there's no way he's not going to do that.
Right, and because it's not like Boros is going to be like, no, Aemon, don't like, don't leave. He's like, oh, I'm gonna stay out of it now.
Yeah. So, what, you about to say something, Matt?
No.
Oh, okay. So he takes off, and of course, as he's trying to fly off, and he tells the dragon, like, yo, no matter what, you listen to me, just, stay the course. We got this. They take off, and he's trying to get through the storm. He's looking back because he's concerned, rightfully so. And of course, right behind him, Aemon and Vhagar are there. But Aemon's out there just fucking with him. Like, he's really just trying to scare the fuck out of him the whole way home and all that kind of stuff. I truly believe he had no intention of killing him this whole time.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
he didn't. Like, it seemed pretty general. I think general consensus that he didn't mean that he realized, oh shit, I fucked up.
Araxis or Arax or whatever the fuck that dragon name was.
Arax.
Yeah. Arax went off on his own shit and started some shit that he bit off more than he could chew.
Basically, came back and blasted fire because I think Vhagar was one of them things. He was like, we were cool, we were chilling, just fucking with you until you decided you were gonna blast fire in my face. And when you did that, I suddenly remembered I needed a snack.
Yeah, like I feel like Arax got scared and felt threatened and was just like, no, leave me the fuck alone.
Mm-hmm.
And then
because both of them were telling the dragons, like, hey, chill. Like, Luke was like, hey, don't do that. Go ahead.
Even like getting onto Arax, he was like telling him, like, obey, listen to me, like, don't defy me, like.
Right, but as Eric's was blasting Vagar in the face, he was like, no, what are you doing? Hey, cut that shit out. And then as like, Vagar went after Eric's,
Aemon's trying to tell him, like, no, do not. And
stop, like, you know what you're doing.
But in the end, you got to remember these are still fucking dragons, and they still, in the end, are going to do what they want to do, not what you tell them to do. Like, yeah, they bond to you, and it's like, yo, we cool, we homies, but you don't get to tell me what to do if I don't want to do it.
Drogon taught us that.
Exactly.
Yep. And Twitter felt the same way. Vagar, no. Okay, Aemon, but why were you even fucking around having Vagar chase them in the first place? With the picture from Eric Andre when apparently he shot Hannibal Buress and then turned back and said, why would Vagar do this?
It's just, oh man. And I feel like this is really supposed to be their oh shit moment, like I said, and it didn't hit like that for me, but it was like a oh shit, as in I know it. We all know what this means now. There's no turning back from war at this point. But as far as Luke died, it was just like you literally picked the most expendable member of the family to kill off right there. Like, it's just, of all the people in that family, the one that you could kill right now, we'd care the least would be him. Maybe Joffrey, because we haven't.
Yeah, I was gonna say Joffrey.
Perhaps because we've only seen Joffrey once, but like of the ones that we see on a more regular basis, he's the one you could have killed and we care the least.
Yeah.
But yeah, then Ray Ray gets the news. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say that was my hot. I was gonna say Daemon realizing that he's pretty much kicked off a war with what he just did was my hot D moment.
Yeah, him just
of
being
the week,
because he definitely was just like, oh shit.
I just wanted to know, like, please don't shoot the messenger. I'm just telling you. Why is she
not on this show, Travis? Like, don't get me wrong, I love being here, but she should be on here instead of me. She's way funnier than I am.
I mean, a lot of people are funnier than you. Doesn't mean they should be on the show.
Twitter all was like, it was at, like, I saw so many screen grabs of this face so many times. It was at this moment Aemon knew he fucked up.
He definitely just,
with the response being like, well, fuck.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, Ray gets the news and she turns around just with this look on her face of, yep, y'all know what comes next. Y'all know the Targaryen words, fire and blood. Like, that's what's coming, and that's all that's coming. What was that tweet you had up there, Mara?
Oh, I'm sorry. It was Aemon after Vagar didn't serve and realized he just started a war. Stress. Just the epitome of stress.
Oh, yeah.
You know, she turned around, and that was the face. That was the it's fucking on face.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
fire
yeah.
And blood.
Some people were like, I recognize that look.
Yep.
A woman scorned. She's lost a lot in one day, and y'all are pushing her nerve.
Any more?
Yes, I do have more. Some people were sympathetic to Luke dying. Some people even put him up on a t-shirt. As much as I despise that.
Fuck out of here.
A real one? Really? A real one?
We can't. Someone was like, season 2 can't get here fast enough. I want Otto's raggedy ass to burn first.
Episode 1.
I feel like we hate him too much for them to kill him off episode 1. It's gonna be like that Littlefinger shit where he don't die until like 5-6 seasons in.
And they're gonna give us a couple of like almost close calls of like, this might be it. This one where it's like, I know Viserys is looking down on all this pain and suffering and asking himself, what the fuck did I tell y'all to do?
Like, I laid it all out for y'all. Like, why is this happening?
Because you didn't know how to shut the fuck up on your deathbed. That's why.
He was high as fuck, you know.
And because you name all of your children the same things. That's why. If you had named him Aaron instead of fucking Aegon, this wouldn't have happened. There would be no dispute here. But
It's
no.
true.
But back to the whole Luke set of it. Some people had the same sentiment as y'all. Vagar literally said, "I give no fucks. Fuck them
Fuck them
kids."
kids.
Fuck them kids, yeah.
But then my whole to wrap up my sentiment about this whole episode, you end season 1 like this and expect me to wait 2 years, and I took that personally.
I mean, that actually also fits with the Aemon stuff when he was just like, Axar, Vagar with Axar shot in his face, and he's like, and I took that personally.
I mean, I prefer the creation world version of that meme with my face on Jordan, but
This is true. This is true. Those of you watching us on Twitch right now, you're a subscriber. You can use that custom emote right now. But
If you feel like it, no pressure. And then last but not least, wait till Damon gets on your ass, you one-eye ass bitch.
So those are the three. Well, there are three things that I need in season 2. Me personally, Aemon versus Daemon. Hightower dead, gone, eaten, fucked up, whatever. And more titties.
Otto Hightower.
Yes, Otto Hightower. And more titties, because I feel like we got gypped on the, like, I kept watching it, and Kate will tell you, every time the TVMA comes up and I'm like, oh, nudity. And then, like, it's always like, oh, here's Aegon's ass. Like, I'm not trying to, like, don't get me wrong. I ain't trying to see Aegon's ass. That's not why I'm here for nudity. Like, I don't care if it's a king's ass or not. That's not what I'm here for.
Exactly.
I came to early Game of Thrones because everyone was fucking and there were titties and everything all over the place. Like, it was
I need violence.
a little lopsided, but, we got penis and titties all over the place. I came to House of Dragons expecting the same thing. This is how you hook people. There was a flagrant lack of nudity after, like, the first episode.
Yeah. There was. We need titties and dragons. They came with the dragons, but not enough for the titties. I can concur on that one.
I need violence. I need more violence.
Yeah. I would also be down for more violence.
Or as this tweet says, me ready to support all of Rhaenyra's war crimes next season. I can't wait.
Like, I hate that I kind of know what's going to happen. Like, knowing the
I have
outcome,
no idea what's going to happen. So that
they never had a woman like rule the kingdom, so we also looked at that family tree and kind of got some spoilers.
Yeah, exactly.
And you know I'm looking at it every week. I look at it every week. Every time something happens, I was like, okay, how does this affect the family tree? Even though I know what the family tree already looks like.
And we looked at that and we saw that some of those branches did not continue to branch.
Exactly. Some of those branches stopped right here. We're like, oh, well, we know these don't have no kids, so they not gonna make it.
Yeah. But so that's what I was saying. I kind of I understand why they've paced it like this, because we had to get through so much setup.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's kind of like Game of Thrones, where they had to set everything up for the actual Game of Thrones to start. So it's just kind of like, I get it. It still was just like,
yeah, but that was like if they had started at Robert's War and did one episode of Robert's War where and then time jumped all this time into the future, and then we saw Catelyn have children and Jon Snow born, and then we time jumped again the next episode. I feel like they did way too much with the time jumps that we could have settled in a little better. But that's
you're just bothered by the time jumps. That's what that is. That's a different thing.
Damn, it's a shame. Kind of makes me wish I read the books to know what happens.
I mean, yeah, but they can switch it up on you because, like I told you before, that whole thing with Laenor, according to the books, he died.
Yeah.
So,
and now we got Cisco because of it.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, there's that. So how about this? Let's rate this episode out of 5 dragons. Matt, what you giving it?
It did not feel like a season finale. I'm giving it 2 dragons, man. Yeah, there was some cool shit. There were some cool lines. I got a dope ass table, but the fact that the table was my favorite part of the whole episode, I cannot give it more than 2 dragons. I can't.
How about you, Mar?
I mean, if we were allowed halves, I would want to give it 3.5. So I'm just gonna round up to 3.
Round down to 3.
That'd be rounding down.
Yeah, thank you. I'm sorry, rounding down to 3. Because it's like I'm hesitant to give it a 4. Because it's like I emotionally, I understood a lot of why they chose what they did, but at the same time, I felt like it left me wanting more, but not like in a great, like whoopee.
Yeah, it left me wanting more and more of it. Like this didn't feel complete. Which is
Yeah.
what I'm kind of siding with Matt here and giving it 2 out of 5.
And then you want me to wait 2 years for it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it gets 1 dragon for every year I have to wait to find out what the fuck happens. That's what it gets.
Yeah, it's not one of those like, oh, that was a great finale. I can't wait for what happens. It's more of let's go. Why are you leaving us here? Like, come on now.
Yeah. Like at least Game of Thrones waited, I think, like 5 or 6 seasons before they started spacing us out by like a year and a half.
Yeah. All right. So that's where we're at. We're at 2 1/3 dragons. 2.33333333 dragons, That is Creation World's rating for the season finale of House of the Dragon. Disappointing, I know.
I give the whole season maybe 3 dragons overall.
I can agree with that.
Yeah. I'd say it was like a mid-tier intro season.
Yeah. I'm with you there. Well, that's it, I guess. I think that'll be it for this week's episode and this season's last episode of #TheMDragons. Don't forget, you can follow us on both Twitter and Instagram at It's Creation World. That is at ITSCREATIA World. You can also find us on Facebook at facebook.com/Creation World. You can find the group for this particular podcast on Facebook. Mara, what's that Facebook group?
Facebook.com/group/TheMDragons.
We also have a Facebook group for other stuff, like the other podcasts we do. So one podcast we have here is Creation Comics. Mara, what's the Facebook group for Creation Comics?
Facebook.com/group/Creation Comics.
Dope. Now, you can find me on both Twitter and Instagram at Lord_Cussalott. That is at LORD_CUSSALOTT. Mara, where can they find you?
Instagram and Twitter at Maradashark, MARADASHARK.
Matt, where can they find you? Plug everything.
You can follow me on Twitter at Matt Ridders, at MATTRIDDER on Twitter only. Also at Getting Offed. If you are a horror fan, we are the #1 horror podcast on Pornhub for the Getting Offed podcast. Should be dropping a 3rd episode on October 31st, Halloween. So come check that out. Also, everything under Creation World is the #1 podcast for that brand on Pornhub, whether it is superheroes, comics, wrestling, so on and so forth. And you can find all of that at pornhub.com/model/creation world. There's a Facebook group for Smack and Raw, the #1 wrestling podcast on Pornhub that I host every Friday at 11 p.m. Central Time. And that is facebook.com/groups/smacking it raw. So you can either follow me on Twitter or follow us there to get all of your weekly wrestling news handled by us.
Dope. Well, with that, we'll see y'all next season. Until then, we out.
See you then.